This is Dr. Vimala Rani, Senior Resident of Physiology of Sree Balaji Medical College and Hospital. I have 12 years of experience in this field, and I have published about 12 research papers to my credit, and I own a patent to my credit. So with this, we are entering into the today's topic, mechanism of cardiac cycle. So before getting to know about this mechanism of cardiac cycle, let me start with greater circulation and lesser circulation that happen in the heart. So what is meant by this greater circulation, lesser circulation? Greater circulation is nothing but which is going to start from left atrium and end with the right atrium. So starting from left atrium, the blood is getting pumped and it reaches all the tissues present in our body, and it is getting, again, it will come back to the heart and will get emptied, which is known as greater circulation. Lesser circulation, from the right ventricle, the blood will be ejected through the artery, it will reach the lungs. It is going to reach only a smaller distance, so it is known as lesser circulation. Now I will explain you what is greater and lesser circulation. Your left atrium is being filled with oxygenated blood, that is, it has received from the lungs through the pulmonary veins. From the left atrium, blood will enter into the left ventricle through the valve known as bicuspid valve. When the left ventricle contracts, now this will eject the blood to the aorta through the valve known as aortic valve. When the aorta contracts, because of the pressure that is present in the aorta, the blood will be ejected to the arteries. Arteries will branch, forming the capillaries. Capillaries, as you all know, this is known as exchange blood vessel. Between the capillary and the tissue, exchange will be happening. That is, the tissue will use up all the nutrients and oxygen, whatever needed for its survival. Once it has used up, it will give out all the unwanted substances. This unwanted substances will be given to the venules. So this venule, all the venule will join together, forming the veins. Veins will empty itself into the superior vena cava and inferior vena cava. From the lower part of the body, all the deoxygenated blood will be taken by the inferior vena cava, and from the upper part of the body, it will empty itself into the superior vena cava. Both the vena cava will empty itself into the right atrium. So the right atrium will contract and give the blood to the right ventricle through the valve known as tricuspid valve. Now this right ventricle will try to contract and give the blood, eject the blood to the pulmonary arterial valve. Both the pulmonary arterial valve and the aortic valve, they are commonly known as semilunar valve. As the blood is being taken by the pulmonary arterial valve, it will exit out of the heart branch itself as a left and right pulmonary artery, which will enter into the corresponding lung. In the lung, again an exchange will happen. Oxygen and carbon dioxide will get exchanged between the alveoli and the pulmonary capillary. After the exchange has been completed, oxygenated blood will be carried by the pulmonary veins. These veins will empty the blood, that is the oxygenated blood, into the left atrium. So here completes your greater circulation and lesser circulation. So with this, we are starting with the cardiac cycle. The definition for cardiac cycle is succession of coordinated events that takes place in the heart during each heartbeat. So succession is nothing but happening one after the another. Coordination is, there is always a coordination that exists between your atrium and ventricle. What coordination I will explain you now. When I say one heartbeat, that includes one systole and one diastole of the heart. Systole, as the term indicates, systole means contraction of the heart. When the heart is contracting, what it is going to do? It is going to pump the blood, whatever present inside it, it is going to pump either to the next chamber or to the arteries which is present nearby. Diastole, which means heart relaxation, it will completely get relaxed. So when it is getting relaxed, it is going to get filled with the blood. So these are the two terms, systole and diastole. So when we take the heartbeat, heart rate will range from 70 to 80 beats per minute. So when we take it as 75 beats per minute, in 60 seconds there will be 75 beats. So when we calculate the time for one beat, it will be about 0.8 seconds. So the entire duration of cardiac cycle will be 0.8 seconds. So in one duration of cardiac cycle, there will be one heartbeat, that is one systole and one diastole will be happening. So another thing you have to be clear here is, whenever I use the term systole and diastole simply without any prefix, that clinically indicates I am talking about the ventricles. So when I use systole, it indicates I am talking about ventricular systole. When I use diastole, that indicates I am talking about ventricular diastole. So coming to events of cardiac cycle, there are two events, atrial event and ventricular events. So under atrial events, we have atrial systole and atrial diastole. Atrial systole will happen for duration of 0.1 seconds. Atrial diastole will happen for 0.7 seconds, which is followed by ventricular events. Ventricular systolic events will happen for 0.3 seconds and ventricular diastolic events will happen for about 0.5 seconds. So always remember, whenever your atrium is contracting, at the same time parallelly your ventricles will be relaxing. Whenever your ventricle is contracting, parallelly your atrium will be relaxing. And again, under ventricular events, we have certain subphases, that is subdivisions will be present. So under ventricular systolic events, the subdivisions are isovolumetric contraction phase, rapid ejection phase, slow ejection phase. Again, under ventricular diastole, we have subdivision. First is protodiastole, followed by isovolumetric relaxation phase, passive rapid ventricular filling phase, passive slow ventricular filling phase, which is followed by last rapid ventricular filling phase. So before getting into the cardiac cycle, we are supposed to know about the pressure level that exists in the heart. So each and every chamber of the heart and also the blood vessels will have its own pressure in it. So the pressure present in the left side of the heart, which is about in the left atrium, it is 8 to 10 millimeter of mercury. In the left ventricle, it is about 10 to 120 millimeter of mercury. And in the aorta, it is about 80 to 120 millimeter of mercury. In the right side of the heart, again the pressure will be existing, which is in the lowermost range because it is being involved in the lesser circulation. So the pressure in the right atrium is 0 to 5 millimeter of mercury. In the right ventricle, it is 5 to 25 millimeter of mercury, and in the pulmonary artery, it is about 10 to 25 millimeter of mercury. Why I have mentioned pressures here? Because your entire cardiac cycle depend upon the pressure gradient. What is pressure gradient? There will be existing of high pressure in one zone and low pressure in the another zone. So always remember, there will be driving of blood flow from the high pressure region to the low pressure region. So in this concept only, we are going to study the cardiac cycle. So getting into the cardiac cycle, the very first phase is atrial systolic phase, nothing but contraction of the atrium. So this phase, it is also known as last rapid filling phase. So in this phase, what will happen? So we are going to see the left side of the heart. So the left atrium, it is having the pressure range in it. So the left atrium will try to contract, that is nothing but the atrial systole. Left atrium is contracting. When it is contracting, when it is actively involved in contraction, it is working and it is going to contract about 20% of blood to the ventricles. So when the atrium is really working, it is going to give only 20% of blood to the ventricles. So ventricles are receiving the blood. So when the atrium is contracting, giving the blood to the ventricles, if it is a healthy heart in normal persons, there won't be any production of any sounds. But pathologically, if the patient is having ventricular hypertrophy, if the musculature is big, when there is hypertrophy in the ventricles, at that time, the atrium has to put extraordinary effort in order to pump the blood from its chamber to the ventricles. So it is going to produce the sound known as heart sound, which is nothing but your fourth heart sound. So noted, there are about 4 heart sounds in our body. So we get 4 heart sounds: S1, S2, S3 and S4, in which S1, S2 sound is normal, which we can hear with the help of stethoscope. S3 and S4 sound, it is not normally heard by using stethoscope. All the 4 heart sounds can be recorded by using instrument known as phonocardiogram. So here we have mentioned, we have seen S4 sound that will occur, it is a pathological sound. So after the atrial systole is over, so during the atrial systole, only 20% of the blood has been given to the ventricle. What was happening with the rest of the blood? That is 80% of the blood the ventricle will receive because of other phases, which I will tell you later. So when the atrial systole is over, atrium will start to relax, which is known as atrial diastole. So atrium will completely relax for a duration of about 0.7 seconds. It is quite longer thing, which is giving adequate time for the atrium to get filled with the blood. So when the atrium is relaxing, it will receive the blood from the lungs and it will receive the blood from the superior vena cava and inferior vena cava. So both the chambers, left atrium and right atrium, is getting filled with the blood when it is completely relaxing. When the atrium is relaxing, what is happening with the ventricles? Ventricles are going to contract now. So we are getting into the next phase, nothing but the ventricular systolic phase. So under ventricular systolic event, the very first phase is isovolumetric and contraction phase. This is the first phase. So in isovolumetric contraction phase, what will happen? This much time your ventricles has been completely relaxed and it is being filled with the blood. So amount of blood that is present in the ventricles before start of isovolumetric contraction phase is end diastolic volume. The volume amount of blood that will be present is 130 ml, which is known as end diastolic volume. So with this 130 ml, your ventricle will try to contract. When the ventricle try to contract, what will happen? Slowly the pressure in the ventricle will start to rise. When it start to rise, immediately there will be closure of valves that is present between atrium and the ventricle. The name of the valve is bicuspid and tricuspid. So when the pressure in the ventricle starts to increase, automatically there will be closure of AV valve. Closure of any valve should produce sound. So the sound that is produced is nothing but your first heart sound, S1 sound. So S1 sound is produced because of closure of AV valve. So the closure has been occurred. Already your semilunar valves are closed. So all the inlet valve and output valve, everything is being closed for the ventricles. Ventricle is with the volume of about 130 ml, it is present. It is trying to contract. When it tries to contract, there is no change in length of the muscle fibers. Only the tension is getting increased. That is, the pressure in the ventricle is getting increased. So when it tries to contract, the pressure is going to get built up. Because there is no change in the muscle fiber length, it is known as isovolumetric contraction phase. So it is entering into the next phase known as ejection phase. Under ejection phase, we are going to see 2 subdivisions. One is rapid ejection phase, another one is slow ejection phase. So what is happening in this phase is, So in the previous phase, we have seen the ventricles are getting filled, they are being trying to contract and the pressure is getting built up in the ventricles. When the pressure starts to increase, when it reaches the highermost level when compared to the aorta, when the pressure goes to 81 mmHg in the left ventricle, automatically what will happen? The valve that is present between the aorta and the left ventricle will open, nothing but your aortic valve. Simultaneously, in the opposite side, pulmonary arterial valve also will open. When the valve open, there will be rapid ejection of blood from the ventricle to the aorta. So this phase is known as rapid ejection phase. This will happen for few seconds, which is followed by ejection of blood from the ventricle to the aorta with much lesser force, that is known as slow ejection phase. So once the rapid ejection phase and the slow ejection phase is completed, so how much amount of blood will be pumped from ventricle to aorta means which is nothing but your stroke volume. So amount of blood that is being pumped by the ventricle, that is pumped because of one time contraction of ventricle, is known as stroke volume, which is about 70 ml. So already the ventricle is being filled with 130 ml, now 70 ml is ejected. So once the ejection phase is over, the amount of blood that remains in the ventricle, we call it as end systolic volume, which is about 60 ml. With this, it will be the ventricle has completed the systole, that is the contraction of ventricle is over. Now the ventricle will try to relax. So completion of contraction of ventricle and entering into the relaxation of ventricle, we call the phase as protodiastole. So protodiastole means completion of systole and beginning of ventricular diastole. So in this phase, you can notice there will be drop in the ventricular pressure. So it will be entering into the next phase known as isovolumetric relaxation phase. So as the term indicates, your ventricles are going to completely relax here. When it is trying to relax, what will happen? The pressure will start to decrease. In the left ventricle, the pressure will start to decrease. When compared to aorta, when the pressure in the ventricle try to decrease, so when it reaches a level of 79, 78 and all, what will happen? There will be more chance for backflow of blood from the aorta to the ventricle. Simultaneously, there will be chance for a backflow of blood from pulmonary artery to the right ventricle. So in order to prevent this, what will happen? There will be closure of valve. Nothing but closure of semilunar valves will happen in this phase. Once again, closure of valves will produce the sound here. The sound produced is your second heart sound. So closure of semilunar valve will result in production of second heart sound, nothing but S2 sound. So what is happening here? Again, all the valves are being closed. The ventricle is remaining as a single chamber. Now what is happening here is the ventricle is relaxing and there is drop down of pressure here. Now it is entering into the next phase, passive rapid ventricular filling phase. So here what will happen? Already the ventricle is with the least pressure. When the pressure falls down when compared to the atrium, immediately there will be opening of the valve, that is atrioventricular valves. Both your bicuspid valve and tricuspid valve will open because of the decrease in the pressure in the ventricles. So these much time your ventricles are completely relaxed, they are being filled with blood. So they are being accumulated with the blood. Once the valve gets opened suddenly, there will be a movement of blood from the atrium to the ventricle. Nothing but ventricular filling will going to happen, but when the valve opens immediately, atrium is not going to do any work. It is going to remain passive. So the phase is known as passive rapid ventricular filling phase without doing any work. Just like that, when the valve open, from the atrium, the blood will be pumped to the ventricles. Once the passive rapid ventricular filling phase is over, the ventricles will be filled with about 70% of the blood. Now it will enter into the next phase, that is passive slow ventricular filling phase. So here what will happen? The flow of blood, that is the speed of flow of blood, will be decreased. So atrium, it has given 70% of the blood to the ventricles. Now what will happen? Straightly from the lungs through the pulmonary vein, this atrium will act as communicating chamber. So blood will just enter into the atrium and immediately it will get into the ventricles. So in this passive slow ventricular filling phase, your left atrium and right atrium, they are going to act as communicating chamber. So here in this phase, about 10% of the blood will be filled into the ventricles. So in the passive phase, that is both in passive rapid ventricular filling phase and passive slow ventricular filling phase, your ventricles, both right ventricle and left ventricle, will be filled with 80% of the blood. So 80% of the blood will be reaching the ventricles without what done by the atrium. So the phase is known as passive phase. With this, we are coming to the last phase of the cardiac cycle. Nothing but, as I said earlier, the cardiac cycle will be beginning with one atrial systole and end with another atrial systole. So as you guess, the last phase is atrial systole. So the content the same, whatever we are seeing the atrial systole. About 20% of the blood will be pumped from atrium to the ventricle. Here your atrium has to do the work. Actively it will be contracting. It will contract and eject the blood. About 20% will be given to the ventricles. So the ventricles, passively it will be filled with 80% of the blood and actively it is filled with 20% of the blood. So 100% of the blood it has received. So ventricle end diastolic volume will be about 130 ml. This phase it is also known as atrial kick. So in this phase already we have seen there will be occurrence of heart sound, that is S4 sound will occur. So this entire cardiac cycle will be recorded by graph known as pressure and volume. The curve is known as pressure and volume curve. It is also known as Vigor's graph. So in this Vigor graph, you can see so many things here. That is the base value, that is the phonocardiogram is given here, nothing but recording of heart sound, in which all the 4 heart sound is being recorded and the curves are being given. And next thing you can see above is electrocardiogram, nothing but a recording of electrical activity that happen in the heart. So which is recorded as waves known as P wave, QRS complex and T wave. And in the again in the graph left side you can able to see the pressure and volume which is given. And pressure is given in millimeter of mercury and volume is given in ml. And in the top of the curve you can able to notice all the phases of cardiac cycle has been mentioned, and in the right side all the pressure and volume has been mentioned, like aortic pressure, atrial pressure, ventricular pressure, and all this pressure it is needed to maintain the circulation in our body, that is the systemic circulation, pulmonary circulation. So entire circulation will happen because of the pressure present in all the chambers. And next is the ventricular volume. Ventricular volume is needed in order to maintain the cardiac output and blood circulation again. So this is your Vigor's graph. This brings me down to the end of this session. If you have any queries, you can drop all your queries in the comment box which is given below. I will meet you again with an interesting topic. Thank you.